Today we are here with a special edition of Box's News. Since this is not a regular news report, but rather a documentary, we are doing this for people who have planned visiting England for studying or just as a vacation. We are happy to introduce our finest reporters for this. Me, Amelia Parker, Toby White, and of course Freddie Pierce.
Hi, I'm Freddie Pierce. The economy of England is the largest economy of four countries in the United Kingdom. England is a highly industrialized country. It is an important producer of textiles and chemical products. Finance, services and industries, particularly banking, insurance and business services, account by far for the largest portion of the GDP and employ around 80% of the working population. England comprises most of the central and southern two-thirds of the island of Great Britain, in addition to a small number of islands. England is bordered to the north by Scotland and to the west by Wales. It's closer to continental Europe than any other part of mainland Britain, divided from France only by a 33-kilometer sea gap, also known as the British Channel. Much of England consists of rolling hills and plains. The north is generally more mountainous.
England is the largest and most populous country of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. England is the southern largest and most populous part of the island Great Britain. There are more than 53 million people in England, and country residents make up more than 83% of the total UK population. People come from all around the world and speak many different languages, so there is no specific ethnicity connected to the UK.
Tourism is accounted for 8.6% of the total GDP in 2009. It employs over 2 million people, around 4% of the working population. The largest centre of tourism is London, which attracts millions of international tourists every year. In 1603, the kingdoms of England, Scotland and Ireland were united in a personal union. In the mid-17th century, all three kingdoms were involved in a series of connected wars, which led to the temporary overthrow of the monarchy. Agriculture is intensive, highly mechanized and efficient by European standards, producing about 60% of all food needs with only 2% of the labor force. It contributes to around 2% of the national GDP.
Thank you, Freddie. Toby White here. 21st century Britain has had a very diverse population. The UK has always welcomed immigrants, and in the past 50 years, numbers have dramatically increased. Initially from former British Empire countries and more recently from EU partners. Britain has also welcomed many refugees.
Manufacturing continues to decline in importance. In the 1960s and 1970s, manufacturing was a significant part of England's economic output. However, a lot of the heavy manufacturing industry was government-run and have failed to respond to the world market. In June 2010, manufacturing in the United Kingdom accounted for 8.2% of the workforce and 12% of the country's national output.
The biggest changes have been in cities, where shops and restaurants serve foods from many different cultures. Pupils in some London schools have more than 50 different home languages. Smaller towns and villages may retain a more traditional British culture. It is illegal to discriminate against people in the UK because of their gender, race, sexuality, or disability. The UK is a very tolerable society, and most people live happily side by side. Travel is also an essential part of the British lifestyle, which brings us to our next topic, tourist attractions. We'll be breaking down the three most popular places to visit. The third most popular place to visit in England is of course the Windsor Castle. Located about an hour west of London, Windsor Castle is often called the largest and oldest inhabited castle in the world. It is one of the official residences of Queen Elizabeth II.
The exact name of Queen Elizabeth is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary. She is now 90 years old. She was born 21st April 1926 in London. She has been the reigning Queen of Great Britain, Canada, Australia and New Zealand since 1952. She is Queen of 12 different countries and a head of the Commonwealth. Talking about attractions, her castle is definitely worth a visit while you are in Britain.
The second most favorite place for tourists to go while visiting would be Big Ben. The 100-year-old Big Ben clock tower is one of London's top attractions. The name Big Ben actually refers not to the clock tower itself, but to the 13-ton bell housed within the tower, and makes its name from the man who first ordered the bell, Sir Benjamin Hall. It is the third largest freestanding clock tower in the world.
And last but not least, the most visited tourist attraction in England is Stonehenge. Stonehenge is among the most important prehistoric sites in the world. It was produced by a culture that left no written records, so many aspects of Stonehenge remain subject to debate. Evidence indicate that the large stones were erected around 2500 BC. It is not known for certain what purpose Stonehenge served, but many scholars believe that the monument was used as a ceremonial or religious center. Some of Britain's favorite hobbies include knitting, boosted by its many celebrity fans. Knitting is booming in Britain. Dancing, especially popular amongst the young, dance has been taken up by 19% of population at some point in their lives, according to research from price comparison website PriceRunner. Collecting, around a third of British population have been collectors at one point or another. Gardening. Britain remains a nation of avid gardeners, a hobby that ticks a lot of physical and mental health boxes. Birdwatching. The British Trust for Ornithology reports that it has more volunteers than ever. It says that more than 40,000 contributed to its Bird Atlas project, counting British birds.
Britain is known worldwide for the quality of education they offer. In Britain, you'll find everything from theoretical and traditional universities to modern and innovative institutions. Together, they offer all possible studies you can imagine. The teachers and lecturers practice themselves within the field they teach. Also, you can greatly customize your own education and have freedom of choice in relation to subjects you can choose. If you want to go on exchange to another country, or if you want to go to work as a part of your education. Britain is one of the world's most international campuses, and you will get to know people and cultures from around the world. You will of course be fluent in English, which is a great advantage when applying for jobs as well as to provide international experience. English is the world's main language, and there are no better place to learn this than in Britain. You will have a wonderful experience that you will remember the rest of your life and will never forget. So if you dream of studying in UK, there are several good reasons to follow your dream.